We're here with Navy fullback James Harris II. I'm doing a little story about Isaac Ruoss, and you guys are classmates. You've been together in that fullback room for 4 years. Just kind of tell me what you've gotten to know about Isaac.
Isaac's like different from everybody else. So you can just see that as soon as you meet him. We went through police summer together. We were kind of roommates through fall camp. He's a very hard-working guy. Like if I had one word to describe him, I would definitely say hard-working. Smart guy, as you see, he's up for that pretty big award.
Yeah,
and
James Campbell, yeah.
Yes, sir. And he's tough. Like you can't take him out, regardless if he's injured or not. He's gonna play through it. So, great guy, well balanced in every aspect of life.
And what about, as far as in the room and working together? I mean, you guys, it's kind of a unique relationship. You've been competing for playing time the whole time, but you're also friends and you help each other. Can you talk about that?
It's always like good competition, So at the end of the day, we both want to start. We both want to make plays, but in the off season and during practice, we're always pushing to make each other better, especially like in the weight room. He'll put some weight up on squat, I'll put some weight up on squat. We just keep going up, and then like when it comes to sprints, he'll win a rep and I'll win a rep. So it's all good competition to make both of us better at the end of the day, so we can be what's best for the team.
So how would you describe his personality? I've interviewed him a couple times on Zoom, and he's kind of soft-spoken, quiet. I mean, he's not an overly boisterous guy, is he?
No, sir. He's not the most outspoken guy, but like once you get to know him, you know what I'm saying, like it'll eventually come. But yeah, you'll definitely have to talk to him. He's not scared to talk. He's just not going to come up to you and just randomly talk to you about things.
So 3.7 GPA in quantitative economics. Is he a guy that other guys might go to for help with their homework?
1,000%. We was roommates over quarantine, and he was helping me out with CNAV, and he's going Marines. So like, just like I said, well-rounded in every aspect. Like I'm going swole, and he knew it better than me. So
right. All right, thanks, James. Appreciate you.
No problem.
James, one more quickly for you. Just Navy Notre Dame. What's this rivalry mean to you?
It's pretty big for us. Just like to go out there and play guys that recruited as 4 stars and 5 stars, and us being smaller guys just to show how Navy football actually is. We get to play on the bigger stage and get to show the world what our culture is. So I believe at the end of the day, it's going to be our culture versus theirs.
We're here with Coach Jason MacDonald, the fullbacks coach for Navy. I'm doing a little story about Isaac Ruoss. How would you describe Isaac?
I would say Isaac is your quintessential Navy football player. Comes to work every day, does what he's asked, does what he's coached to do, doesn't complain. Is quieter than most, actually. Quieter than probably all, I'll tell you the truth, but he does the talking with his actions.
Right. So obviously you've had him for 3 years, I believe. Is that right?
Correct.
So you got him as a sophomore, young guy, young pup, still molding him. I mean, he came highly touted. I was looking at his resume. He was had something that only LaShawn McCoy had more yards in his district of Pennsylvania. So I mean, he came in here pretty highly touted. I mean, can you talk about his development and how he's improved as a player?
Yeah. So the interesting fact about both James and Isaac was my first day in the B-backs room was also their first day in the B-backs room as well. They were on scout team their freshman year. When I came in and we started those spring meetings, and I think it was the second week I got here, it was their first kind of introduction to being a real part of that room. Mm-hmm. So I think about that, and I think about how special that is. To be able to see those guys develop pretty much from the starting line, and as when you're a plebe, you're running around for the defense and things like that. So to have that's been special. And, I don't know if most people know this or not, but Isaac actually ran this offense in high school, or a version of it,
Really?
So
Okay,
if you go back and you watch his high school highlights films, he's doing a lot of the same stuff he does on our field. Obviously he's doing it a lot faster here, going against a lot better talents. But, I think with perseverance more than anything, in this day and age, guys transfer for any reason and all reasons, all over the place. And obviously we don't have a lot of the same issues that a lot of the other programs have. But, you look at Isaac and he traveled to the Memphis game and actually played the majority of the second half of the Memphis game as a sophomore, when Nelson got hurt. And, then Jamel came in and
he got jumped.
He got jumped. And he wasn't the only one either that got jumped. So, he obviously had an unbelievable attitude, and he came back his junior year and said, what can I do to contribute? And it was on special teams. Mm-hmm. And then in our meetings at the end of junior year, it was, I just don't want to be a special teams player, Coach. I will if that's what I have to do, but I want to be a part of this offense, and that's what I want to do. And he's done nothing but work to get to where he's at today.
And what do you feel he brings to the table? I know he and James are slightly different players, and what is Isaac's strengths as a fullback?
I think he sees it very well. You know, when you notice in the games, sometimes it looks like it's going a certain way and there might not be a lot of yards there, and Isaac kind of makes one or two moves and you know, just picks up more than what you think was there. And so I'd say his strength is definitely his vision, his footwork, and you know, overall, both these guys are just tough as nails. You know, what he's playing with, what he plays through on a daily basis, you know, when kid's 215 pounds. You know, guys tackling him week in and week out are 280, 320 pounds. So, you know, just tough as nails, and you know, where he comes from, and he comes from a family who's tough as nails too. So you can see that they raised him right.
So obviously incredible student. He's a candidate for this very prestigious award, which is an academic-related award, 3.7 GPA as a quantitative economics major. Can you talk about how proud you are that a guy that you coach is such an outstanding student and is up for an award that's very prestigious in regards to football academics?
Yeah, that to me is such a great example to everybody in this program. You know, everybody at the school. You know, he carries the weight that all the students carry at the school, and he's a football player on top of that. You know, and he's a leader up in his hallway as well. So, you know, when you think about Isaac Ruoss, if my sons grow up like him, then I'm a pretty damn successful father, right? You know, so couldn't be more proud of Isaac, how he's handled everything that's come at him through football. You know, and it's funny, you don't get much out of him from an emotional standpoint, but last week there was some confusion on whether or not we might have to, you know, when we left and we traveled to Tulsa, there was some confusion on whether or not we might have to go to a class on Thursday morning, and he was under the impression that we didn't have to go to that class, and he had sent his teacher an email saying he wasn't going to be there and had scheduled his test for when he got back, and the fact that now he might have had to like take that test, right. He was all bent out of shape. This shows you the kind of student he is, you know? Right, so that was like the number one thing on his mind, you know, which was, and obviously all that got fixed, but just a tremendous student, tremendous leader, you know, not with his words, but with his actions.
Governor Mifflin, is that the Harrisburg area?
A little outside of Harrisburg. It's probably like 30 minutes away.
Okay. And did you all apparently ran a triple option offense?
Yep, we ran the same offense.
So,
a little more complicated now, but same offense.
Well, so did that have something to do with you coming to Navy? I mean, obviously, having gotten some training in the exact same type of offense is a benefit for you.
I think so. And like in high school, my coach brought up Navy, the service academies and stuff. I thought like, oh, that's cool. And then didn't really think anything of it, and then once I finally got offers from there, it was like, that's a reality. And I don't know, it just like seemed like the perfect fit for me, running the same offense and stuff, and thought I would be more used to it coming in here.
So, I mean, who else recruited you other than Army and I guess did Air Force recruit you?
Army, Air Force, and then mainly the Ivy Leagues.
All right. So where do you think you might have gone if you hadn't gone to Navy? An Ivy League school?
Yeah, probably Yale was my second choice after Navy.
So what did lead you to Navy? I mean, had you really thought about service academy, a career in military?
I feel like personality-wise, the military and Navy fit me better than Yale. And obviously both are great schools, great educations and stuff. And then also just the football level of football here is...
Right, Division I, right?
Yep, step up.
So obviously talk about your journey. I mean, you know, it's a hard road. You show up and you're like 10th on the depth chart. And then you know, Coach MacDonald was talking about his first meeting in the fullback meeting room is spring of your freshman year. It was the first time you and James were in there together. And, you know, you probably had several guys ahead of you at that time. I mean, it's a hard road to work your way up. There's only one fullback that gets to start in this offense, and they recruit a ton of them because they got to have good fullbacks.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, coming out of high school, everybody wants to be that guy playing freshman year. So then I was like, if not, then maybe I'll play special teams. Like, that's my goal. And that doesn't end up working out, so then I'm just scout team all freshman year, which, I mean, it's a grind. You do what you have to do, and then coming back sophomore year, freshman year during spring ball, I was like, I want to like move myself up the depth chart. So then I was able to move up to second. Then, so going into the fall, I was second, and then Jamel ended up jumping me, and then, I didn't have many reps. I had a couple of reps during games.
And you were playing special teams as a sophomore, correct?
Yeah, a little special teams. I played more special teams my junior year, but I played no offense my junior year, which was disappointing, honestly.
Yeah.
But you have to do what you have to do to help the team out, which is the most important thing. And then, honestly, a couple weeks last year, I was on scout team too, helping out because we were low on B-backs.
Right.
So then, coming out of junior year, it was just like,
You got one last shot.
one last shot and put it all out there, try to get that spot, which I got, and then James jumped me, and we're just competitive now for it. And I'm enjoying every minute of it now.
I was going to say, you are a key contributor now as a senior. It must feel very good. You've worked so hard to get to this point.
Yeah, definitely. This is what you dream of when you come here, and it's finally happening, and I just appreciate every moment.
So talk to me about your relationship with James Harris. You guys are classmates. You've been together since you plebe summer, and here you are. You're the top two fullbacks exchanging carries. What's your relationship like with James?
I think it's cool. Honestly, we're the only two B-backs from my recruited class that made it all the way through. So we've been through each struggle and everything throughout, and I think we're pretty close. Just through different experiences and stuff, and we both make each other better, competing every day, and just making each other work harder.
So obviously you're a very intelligent kid, 3.7 GPA in quantitative economics. Why did you choose to be a quantitative economics major here?
Initially it was my parents, because they thought I'd be a good financial advisor, so I was like, economics, finance, same thing. And then thinking about it deeper, it was just like, I want to be a pilot graduating from here, and
But you're going Marine Corps.
Marine pilot.
Marine pilot.
Marine
Oh,
pilot.
gotcha. Okay.
And then I was thinking the best way to fall back on would be finance for me.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I don't use it ever, I will use it in my everyday life. So
Of course.
I thought it was the most applicable thing.
So I understand how many B's in total have you gotten at this academy in 4 years?
So far, I think it's 3.
How in the world do you do that? Because I went to Towson University and I had trouble getting B's and A's. And then this is the Naval Academy.
Honestly, I was disappointed, because 2 of them were from my first semester plebe year, and I was just disappointed. Coming out of high school, I was 4.0, everything. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of expecting that. So it was a little humbling plebe year coming and getting 2 B's. And then my most recent one, which is frustrating because it was supposed to be my easiest class I was taking, and then ended up with a B. So a little disappointed.
And so this award that you're up for, the Campbell Award, it's a very prestigious trophy. Navy players have won it in the past. Oftentimes Navy players are nominated because of the high academics here. Are you proud of that honor?
Oh, obviously I'm proud of it. Being the one person that represents the Naval Academy, the school it is, and then representing out of the whole country, just academics, and then showing the workload that you have to do, plus football, I think it's definitely an honor.
So, Coach MacDonald said that you're a really hardworking guy, kind of a blue-collar guy. He said that was like your upbringing. What do your parents do? Was that your upbringing in Pennsylvania?
I'd definitely say so. My dad is a furnace operator at a titanium plant, so he goes to work every day, puts his head down, does his job. I think that's where
Lunch pail mentality.
Yes, sir. I think that's where I got most of it from, just watching him every day growing up.
Right. So you're talking about the Marine Corps. What led you to go Marine Corps? You could have gone and flown and done straight Navy pilot and gone down to Pensacola. Why did you want to do Marine Corps pilot?
First and foremost, I think Marine Corps just fits me better as a person, and I like the mentality that Marines have, and then I also think the Marine has cooler platforms to fly. Okay.
Like what?
Well, every option I feel like the Marine Corps has is cool, and then, everything's cool, but they have Ospreys, and then I want to fly the F-35, which is the B version, and that one has the vertical takeoff, which I think is cool.
So what about this game coming up, the Navy-Notre Dame game? How cool is it that you're going to have a chance to play a meaningful role in a Notre Dame game in South Bend at such a iconic stadium?
Yeah, it's definitely I mean, when you think of college football, you think of Notre Dame. So this is like every kid that plays football's dream is playing Notre Dame or playing for Notre Dame. And now I have the opportunity to play against them, hopefully get the win, and it would just be a dream come true.